Hi everyone, welcome to Tea Time. My name is Samir Shah and I'm a second year MBA student.
Hi, I'm Brittany Blackman. I'm a second year MBA student also.
And we have a very special guest today. We have Nicolas Bernardi. So,
Good
Nicolas,
afternoon.
Nicolas is founder and managing director of Quality Center Senegal. He's also founder and chairman of SDCHI Ivory Coast, founder and director of Quality Candy, has served as the chief executive officer of Louis Dreyfus Commodities, West Africa from 2008 to 2013 as a board member of 8 subsidiaries, and has also previously served as the chief operating officer of the business solutions unit at telecom company SFR Altice in France. From 1995 to 2000, he served as the marketing and sales VP at Bouygues Telecom, and he started his career as a management consultant at A.T. Kearney. He also holds an MBA from Harvard Business School and an MS degree from École Nationale Supérieure des Télécommunications de Paris. We're very pleased to have you here today.
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So the first question that we have for you, you've been a part of many successful companies. What has been the key to your success?
Okay, so success, it depends how you define success. One thought I am 55 now, and what I learned during my 25-year career is that business success does not always bring happiness, but on the reverse, happiness often brings back business success. If you go back to the business success during my career, I believe that I follow two main rules. First, I like people. So I like meeting people, customers, employees, stakeholders, and I really thrive in public relations. The second aspect for me was to always innovate. I do not want to take things as granted, and I like to bring innovations in everything that I do.
Got it.
Nice. So, what has been the biggest challenge for you in running business in Africa?
Okay. Yeah. Today I have invested and I manage 4 businesses in Africa, 2 in Senegal and 2 in Ivory Coast. The 2 main issues I have been tackling are first distribution networks. In many, I'm involved in fast-moving consumer goods businesses, soda business and candy business, and distribution networks are really key to success. And this is really what I spend a lot of time doing to build the right strategy in terms of distribution, the right warehouses and logistics tools, and to be able to develop sales. Secondly, as I said before, in business success, human resources management is key. There is a lot of potential. 50% of the population in Africa is under 18. So you really have to spend a lot of time building competencies and training the people. So human resources management and training are key.
Got it. So one of Africa's biggest challenges is that the unemployment rate doesn't fully correlate with the GDP growth rate. So Africa's GDP growth rate has been growing, but we haven't seen that much growth from the unemployment rate. What is your take on what is going on and what can be done to address this?
From my field experience, and I've been working and developing business for the past 15 years in Africa, there is still a lot of informal activities. So I believe, I'm not a macroeconomics expert, but when you look at GDP numbers or official statistics, they are it's very difficult for them to measure the real employment rate because you still have a lot of underground economies. They are legal economies from manufacturing to services, but you don't really see them in the data because some people work part-time, and so you still have a lot of people working, but you don't see in the statistics. Concerning the way to develop employment, obviously the 2 main drivers are you need to have a government which is really involved in building the nation resources, and you really need to have a good public environment with good public governance. So they really work for the country and not for themselves. And secondly, you have to have more and more investments in the private sector. The private sector in Africa is really thriving, is really developing very quickly, and that's where employment potential is still underdeveloped.
Got it. Makes sense.
Good. So the mobile technology industry has seen rapid growth in Africa. How does this translate for you as a successful entrepreneur?
Okay, well, I'm glad about this question as I am a telecom engineer. So I like the question, even though I don't have any more activities in telecom in Africa. Well, 100% of the population has a mobile phone right now. Roughly 25% have smartphones. In Dakar, for example, you have 4G mobile networks operating in most of the main cities. So mobile is really the way really people live and work in Africa. They leapfrog the telecom fixed network generation to go straight to the mobile world. So, and most of the people, even a maid, a driver, everybody sometimes have even more like two mobile phones to use two mobile prepaid cards. So today, obviously, they are using more and more the internet services. They obviously are using the social network. They are using emails. They are also using some services like the equivalent of Uber and some delivery services like Jumia for food or for goods at home. So they are really now in the 21st century in terms of technology. As I said before, you really need to continue to build a lot of competencies, training, but mobile technology is here and is very useful. And basically, when I work in Africa, I really like. I work in New York. We all exchange WhatsApps, messages, use the emails while we are, moving from one place to the other. And obviously, we all have also emails and so on the mobile, but also on the PC, on Macs in the offices. So I don't really see a big difference in at least in the four companies I manage, how we use technology compared to how you use it here in the US or in France.
Got it. Makes sense. And final question for you. So Africa has trailed other emerging markets like China and India.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it will be able to catch up? And if so, what do you think it can do to catch up?
Okay, well, as you know, the growth, the GDP grows, and as I said, even in the field, you can see a lot of growth that are maybe not in the statistics. These countries are growing at 6-7% a year, which means that their economy is doubling every 7 years, which is really a fast pace. They are also far behind compared to Asia and China in terms of wealth per capita, in terms of economic activities. At the same time, the population is growing very fast. It's today a bit above 1 billion people in Africa. It will be a bit more than 2 billion in 25 years from now, and will be 4 billion by 2100. So there is a high population growth, which will help the economy to develop. They have agricultural products also. I mean, 30% of raw materials in the world are in Africa, very diversified. Usually we think about the Middle East with only oil and gas, but the rest of Africa is very rich. You have agricultural products from pineapples to bananas. You have tea, coffee. You have minerals, all the minerals. You have energy, oil, gas. You have aluminium, bauxite. You have diamonds, a lot of things, so a lot of potential. I believe that to continue to develop, Africa must really continue to develop its private sector. The private sector is spending quickly in services. One weakness is manufacturing. It's only 10% of the GDP in Africa is manufacturing, and it's only 1% of the world output, so it's still very low. And even if the service sectors is developing, like I have a call center for the French market, or you also have some computer science startups and so on. I believe that Africa, with a lot of manpower and people, should develop in manufacturing. And that's still a way to go. They can leapfrog, like they leapfrog the fixed telecom network. They should leapfrog in terms of technology to build the factories of the future.
Got it. Makes sense. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your help.
I
thank
will
you.
close with a question to the next generation. Brittany, you are as American as you can get, many generations in this country, but you are interested in Africa. So why is that? What does attract you to maybe later on do business in Africa?
Good question. I think that now is the time to invest in Africa. I had the chance to visit last year on the Africa Trek at Johnson, and was also able to go to Ghana on my own and discovered that, this is the year of return. So it's been 400 years since slave ships left from Ghana and came to America. And so now there's a big push in marketing for people to come back to the country to learn about their history and to really, take advantage of the opportunities there, to meet the people, to build that connection from Africa with America. And so I think now is the time for me to be a part of that. So I'm super excited to hopefully be able to do business in Africa one day myself.
Thank you. And actually the Johnson Africa Business Society collects many of these willingness to go back to Africa, and we organize with them many events, so I'm very happy with that. And you, Samir, what do you feel attracted by Africa? And
I think we captured it here. I think there's so much opportunity. There's a big population base. There's a big amount of natural resources available in the country. I think there's a lot of growth opportunity there, and I'm excited to see where the continent will go in the next 5 to 10 years.
very good. So here at Emerging Markets, we always want a new voice from emerging markets, a positive voice, like we were talking before with Nicolas. Africa is often in the news because of the wrong reasons, and actually there is a lot of growth, opportunity, and hope that the continent is going to be the continent of the future. It is the continent of the present. So thank you very much, Samir, Brittany, and Nicolas, again for being with us. Looking forward to your presentation in the class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.